Hey, Kevin here. I'll give you an update on my old Travco motorhome. Last time we talked, there was no front axle underneath it, and I was concerned about what I'd have to do to get everything spaced where the tires would fit in the wheel wells. Well, I use a donor motorhome. It's an Oshkosh chassis from a Georgia Boy motorhome. I use its axle and springs and hangers. And I was originally going to put 2-inch blocks underneath between the hangers and the frame, which is going to look pretty shitty if I did, but that's what I thought I'd need to do in order to get the 38-inch tires to sit in wheel wells that were made for 34-inch tires. But the combination of the longer, thicker, wider springs and the deeper hangers, the tires actually look pretty good. There's lots of clearance above the tire, and I was able to have room in the wheel well to actually put the air cleaner on this side, and we've tested it, and the tires don't hit it, and lots of clearance. Also, last time I was still working on putting the radiator in, which I still kind of am, but it's sitting in place. I got the radiator, the intercooler, and the tranny cooler all in place, and soon I will start. I actually got the tranny cooler plumbed in. The radiator's starting to be plumbed in. The intercooler's plumbed in. I'll get around to rebuilding the framework and the structure on the inside that I had to cut out to fit that wide radiator in. But when I do, then I'll work on the plumbing too. This is how I'm doing my wiring. And I've done this on converting an old truck to a diesel. And it's a great way to marry the existing truck wiring to the new systems, and that's basically what I've got here. And I'm still in the process of doing that. This is a harness that's running back. I'm putting trailer brakes on it and electric fuel pump at the tank and a few other things. So I'm running, and I'm also running extra wires back for future projects. I said I was going to use the Oshkosh steering box, which was a lot heavier duty box, but I really couldn't, and I can't really show you, but in front of that tire is where that box sits, the steering box, and there's no room in there for the Oshkosh box. The Travco box, sitting as it was meant to be installed, is actually wedged in there pretty tight. I've starting on some body work, and this next couple days we're dropping all projects and we're focusing on the body because we're running out of good days here. I mean, usually this fall we have a bunch of warm days, but it's been cold and wet for weeks now, weeks. And I actually dropped everything a month or so ago just to put these gaskets in the rear windows, which I had the rear windows out. So, just trying to get everything, trying to get the paint job done. Hopefully we look like Saturday and Sunday are supposed to be really warm days in the 80s and no wind. And since it's been pouring rain, so it'll take quite a while for that to dry out, so the dust ought to be down for a while. I said I was going to use the Oshkosh's gauges and build a custom dash. I'm not going to do that. As of right now, I think I'm going to use the original Dodge dash. As I'm going through the wiring, I think it'd be easier just to change the sending units on the engine to original Dodge's sending units, and that way they'll match the dash. We started putting some interior in, got some ceiling panels in, but they're not going to stay as they are. I got a boat, a pretty big boat, and in the living room of my boat they've got a wood framework and panels that go in between the framework, and I might do that here. That way I can pull the trim off and pull individual panels out and get into above them, work on wiring, or if I want to screw something to the roof or something. And that would actually be more time consuming, but I think it'll be cheaper than the foam. The foam's going to cost me more than the panels costed, and I still might do the foam. We live so far away from everywhere, and I don't know not quite sure what kind of foam to get yet. But so far, everything I probably a little bit on the ridiculous side. I've been watching Craigslist, hopefully find someone selling a bunch of stuff like that, and that's where I found a lot of stuff. On the updates, the AC wiring is all working, and I've I've had it plugged in using the AC circuits inside the Travco. The DC circuits are working as I need them. Yesterday I spent the day pressure washing it all day. This thing has been sitting for decades, especially on the roof. It was really, let me see if I can show you the roof. The roof was really nasty, and it probably still is considered to be nasty, but it's 1,000 times better. So pressure washing yesterday. Today I start sanding. First thing I'm going to do, let me give you a quick overview of how I'm doing my body work. And I gave this on another video, but I didn't do it right. And I didn't explain right. This gel coat was cracking like this in certain spots. It's real bad. I will take a scraper and I'll hit it with a scraper and flake off anything that's going to flake off. Then I'm going to hit it with 60 grit to knock any curves and anything like that. Knock all that off to get it level. Then I'm going to put on a coat of fiberglass resin. And what the point of this is, let this wick into any cracks, maybe underneath stuff that might be partially flaked off that I don't see, and let it wick into the cracks and get a hold. And then I'll go through and I will sand that again. And then I'm going to put a coat of regular body filler in it, a tight coat. I'll just take that body filler and I will squeeze it real tight against the body. And the way it'll wind up being is the white and the green will still show, but there'll be little brown lines everywhere where the body filler has filled in lines. Then I'll sand that. The paint I'm using is Interlux Perfection. It's a 2-part polyurethane boat paint. It's about $70 a quart. And I'll roll it on. It's made to be rolled and tipped. And that's how I did my sailboat. It's made for marine environment. And it will do wonders on this motorhome, I believe. And I've already done the paint around the windows. I did that so I could put my windows in and then paint it later. And I wanted to do, there's just crack like this everywhere, so this was all cracked. And it smoothed out pretty fair. So that's how I'm going to do the paint. And that's how I'm going to do the body work. And the whole idea is I'm going to start right now when I put this camera down. And I will also shoot videos of doing the body work and have that as a separate video. But this video is an update. Things are going great. Tickled to death about it. Looking forward to firing this bad boy up and moving it out of here. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to press like and to subscribe to follow my videos. I do videos, I don't know, I've never done this kind of crap before, but I'm kind of having fun doing it. I'm a sailor. I got some sailing videos. I'll have some mechanic videos. I've got 30-something years as a mechanic, both as on equipment and industrial. And automotive was first mechanic school I went to was automotive. Like I said, offshore sailing and working on my ranch here. So just like to shoot videos and look forward to you watching.
This is the V, or the joint where the two halves of the Travco join together. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a window down there. I'm on top of the roof. This is a clearance light where a clearance light used to be. This is the center. And this, another clearance light was here. There's a nasty ass pucky in between that I'm digging out. And there was an aluminum strip I showed earlier that was screwed into here. It's a 16th thick piece of aluminum that's just got wood screws. It's not structural. So I'm digging this crap out here. And then I'm going to take a grinder and I'm going to run the grinder through here and put a V on here. And since it's so deep right here, because after this metal plate inside there, I can see that from inside the Travco. That's just a plate that's actually pulled loose. And actually maybe I will screw that plate back. But either that or I'm going to pack this hole with something like a paper towel just to give me something to support the resin that's going to have the long strands of glass in it. The gorilla snot's what I call it. After I V it out, I'm gonna put some of that in there. That'll be how I eliminate the aluminum. And I'm gonna V out. I'm gonna V out where the clearance lights went, because the clearance lights I got are little round buttons, little teeny bulbs. So I'm going to go about this far down. I'm going to drill new holes, because if I put them here, they won't be seen from down below, because they'll be pointing straight up. So I got to get down a little bit for the clearance lights. But that's just an update.
Okay, I'm working on my fender flare. What I did is I took the pieces I originally cut out and I glassed them back in. And what I don't like is how it curves here, but in order to keep this shape, I had to cut off this part over here. That's tacky as hell. So, and then I have nothing here. For right here, that's easy enough. I'm going to add this piece of foam in. I've cut it to fit, shaped it. I'm just going, and the motorhome's foamed, insulated anyway, so there's foam back there. So I'll just take these nails and shove them in there to hold that foam in place. And then when I glass it, I'll just glass over this piece of foam. Probably what I'm going to do, just wish I could maintain this and have it come up here instead. I could build this up with foam. Spray foam probably. Spray it in, then shape it. Or can I leave it? What do y'all think? Tacky as hell, ain't it? Needs to maintain that curve all the way through to look right. Anyways, that's my dilemma there. I'm working on that. It's early morning. I gotta let the dew evaporate off, but it's been sanded. It's smooth. See, I can't even feel that. You can see the cracks, but they're all filled in with, they're either filled in with Bondo or they're filled in with resin. You'll notice on the first video, it looked really all different shades of stuff I put on here. Like right here is resin. And this is Bondo. I was experimenting with what was best. I was trying to do a coat of resin, then a coat of Bondo. See, I got to sand that. I can feel that. And this needs sanded better. But we're going to try to brush on some paint today. We're going to roll and tip. Oh, bump right there. I need to walk around with the pencil and mark all the spots that are high. Still, I just added that Bondo yesterday, so that hadn't been ferreted out yet. This still needs to be sanded. There she is. She's almost ready to be painted. If I could do the fender flares before I paint, that'd be fantastic. But if I can't, I'll do them later. Just tomorrow. Today's my last day. I think tomorrow, I think the wind's going to pick up. It's supposed to be temperature's supposed to be nice tomorrow, but the winds are going to pick up. So I think I'll knock out the rest of the sanding, wash her, get her ready to paint. Thanks for watching.